What's up? Okay, guys. So let's talk about. Oh, you know what? I can. No, I was hitting Control or FN. Okay, so let's have a. I'll quick summarize the case. Basically, Barbara became the manager of the general surgery unit nurses, and she found that her new unit had a bunch of issues with nurses not getting along with each other positions. They weren't working as a team and getting tasks done together. They were showing favoritism. They felt like they weren't evaluated and appreciated. They were overworked and short-staffed. That's basically it. So the first question, what are the root problems that Barbara Norris is facing? Oh, did I? No, those aren't the root problems. Yeah, they are. Okay, good call. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. So the next question is, how well has Barbara Norris done in her first month as nurse manager of the general surgery unit? Was she a good choice for the position? Bartholomew, do you want to take that one? Bartholomew?
Hi.
Hey, do you want to take that question?
Okay. Yes, so the root cause of the problem is that the hospital actually did not have a streamlined process for how they motivate their staff to be able to do the work. And the program has compounded over the years. And as Barbara was advancing to that position, she really needs to be able to tackle the issue, try to help the nurses, those working so long to the extent that they did not even have enough time for themselves and their families. So one of the key things is because the hospital did not have enough budget, they have to cut down the number of people that they have to recruit at that point. And they also have the responsibility to attend to their patients, but they did not have the requisite number of staff per the demands of that requires on every nurse to attend to the patients. So that actually creates a whole lot of problem for the working condition that the nurses are working on in the hospital.
Okay, the next question, how well has Barbara Norris done in her first month as the nurse manager? I'll take this one. I think she's done a good job trying to figure out what's going on. You know, she came in and met with most of the nurses and asked them how they felt. She's gone over a few options with them and has outlined a little bit of a plan to involve them in, you know, figuring things out, and has made it clear that she wants to fix the problems of the GSU, you know, even though she's been told that it's a lost cause. I think she's done a good job. I can't say if she was a good choice for the position because I don't know who the other people were that applied. I don't know, you know, how she's going to do yet, but yeah. Okay, next. What changes is she trying to make and why? Gabe, do you want to do this one?
Yeah, so she had that offsite meeting at first to try to see, you know, find out what the problems are between the nurses and stuff like that. And then, so I think that's, I guess, one of the things that she's trying to do. I don't know. I can't remember what other ones. Do you remember any other changes?
Basically involving the nurses and
Oh, that's right. That's right. Because of the offsite, so they're
yeah, and trying to. It sounds like trying to find the best, most agreeable change instead of changing what she just thinks, but go along with everyone. Okay, what are 3 obstacles to affecting change that Barbara Norris should anticipate, and how should she address them? Jared, would you take this one?
Some obstacles. Well, there's just a lot of animosity, I guess, among the various workers. And that's probably one of the initial things you're going to have to kind of tackle. I think she went about that in the right way of trying to get some of the problems out in the air, open air initially. And I was thinking about when I was writing up and doing my write-up on it is, what would be the best or a good solution. And, I think getting everybody familiar with everybody's individuals is probably a good start. So maybe, getting together outside of work for things other than work. Whether that's just getting together at lunch just to talk and chat, or even having a get together and invite families and things like that to make it more, I don't know, I guess personal, to try to understand each person on an individual basis versus just at work and they're just another grumpy person you work with kind of thing. That was kind of my initial thought.
So, as far as the action plan questions go, in my action plan, I said that she needs to make a clearly defined policy regarding gossiping and what did I say? Gossiping and backbiting and contention amongst the nurses, because it seems like they were just willy-nilly going at each other and ignoring others and stuff. And I think that was inappropriate, and she needs to make a policy that they all know about and are held to. Also, I thought that she needs to incorporate a way to facilitate teamwork, because it sounded like they could pick and choose who they wanted to do each assignment with. So I think she needs to make it so that they have to rotate through each other. And I've worked with people that I did not like, but I had to work with them. And because I was exposed to them, eventually I came to tolerate them or even like them, like my wife. I worked with my wife and I hated her guts, but I had to work with her and eventually fell in love with her, and bam, here we are, married. I don't know if that would be that way with my next wife. Just kidding. But just kidding. But I think it works. So I think she should make them rotate between each other. Gabe, did you have anything in your action plan that I didn't have?
Well, it was kind of similar. I had like setting up a team lead, so somebody that was in charge of, like a specific shift, because one of the problems was, the review of the employees. They couldn't, they didn't have a good, isn't that what they call it, review?
Yeah, evaluations,
and then they didn't have somebody that they could go to, or for example, the new nurses, they would. They didn't know who to go to because they kept having to ask questions. So if you develop a team, a shift lead or a team lead, find out how to divide it, then you can have somebody that the new nurses can go to, and then they can have someone to, if they have any issues, then they can bring it up to their team lead, and then they can, rather than, it's just a pool of a bunch of nurses and then one, Barbara. So, and then that way, everything's not just on Barbara. She can delegate some of those things.
That's a good point, Gabe. Okay, consider the following information to help lead.
Oh, well, one, we have everybody do their action plan.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea, Gabe. Jared, would you tell us about your action plan?
My action plan? Yeah, mine was, like I already kind of mentioned, mine was really kind of based around taking time for everybody to get to know each other. Just because, I mean, from my experience, the more that you get to know somebody, the more likely, you are to have some sympathy for their situation. And it gets harder the more from my thought or vantage point, is the better you know somebody, the harder it is to be mean and rude behind their back. So that's kind of what I based mine on.
Okay. What about you, Bartholomew? You there, buddy? Looks like we lost him again. All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now we can. Let's hear your action plan.
Yeah. So my action plan, I said Barbara need to devise a strategy to help the nurses to work together as a team, because you see, most of the nurses they are working in the hospital, but they are not working as a team. And for that matter, the work is propounding all the times and making it very difficult for them to be able to leverage on the individual skills and the talents and how to be able to accomplish their desired goals. Another thing that I was thinking about it was with a payment system, if I earn $100 and my coworker earns something higher than that, you know, there should be not be any way whereby my coworker have to know how much I earn based on my experience and qualification. So privacy and also making information very confidential should be a culture that they need to promote within the organization. If I earn $100 and you pay me that $100, I need not to discuss that thing with any other employee, because as far as somebody get to know that yes, they are working the same hours, but somebody is earning a much higher salary than the other person, it creates a whole lot of confusion, and that is one issue that Barbara have to deal with. So if they can get everybody to sign that bond, so that they will make information that are available to them very confidential, it can also help to reduce the contention.
Well, so the last thing is, it says we should create an action plan, but what? That's just things to keep in mind. But sounds like we all have pretty much the same action plan, apart from, you know, a couple extra things. So I'd say if we, for her, an action plan that would fit all of our criteria would to be involving teamwork, reliable evaluations, and deal with the compensation issue like Bartholomew was saying. Right, guys? Yeah?
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. This was a short one. Weird. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to cover?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. Well, that was a killer meeting. We were quick and concise this time. That was impressive. I will send in the deal. You guys enjoy your week.
All right. Well, you too. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
All right. Thanks.